right? Speaking of classics, we do round out the bro lineup with the Alistair. There's that Jace.
There you go. Well, this is definitely a matchup where you can dominate and you can crush the Gnar early on. There's no CC to lock him down, but if Hoya is overextended, if he's getting traded against so much, sometimes you can just get kills as Jace even solo, or you force Hoya to lose minions, right? And he ends up falling behind in CS very quickly early on in the game, so it can be very frustrating to deal with. I really feel like this is going to be a lot of pressure on Afrika to get out early, but they have a comp that can do it. If we go to late game on even footing, or if Olaf is somehow able to get ahead, this could be Fred Brion's start to the series.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. Match 72.
We're getting deep in here in the LCK.
Only the second game he's played of Jace. He's such a great Jace player.
This is really greedy.
Yeah, trying to get in there, and Lahenza and Bang are just like, what?
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That was a pretty weird choice. You can always tell, too, when the players just like, when an Alistair goes in like that and the players don't even walk backwards.
Compete for this Rift Herald at all, right? They're setting up actually for a dive onto Lahenz, who is trying to run away now, but there is no escape.
There's so many minions here still. He's buying a lot of time.
Yeah, he's going to have the great health here, but 4-on-1. Didn't even need Yaharong, actually. He doesn't even get an assist.
Wild.
Mid lane is being shut down.
The gold here that you're going to get for Afrika is arguably more significant, not to mention, some lost experience, a lot of lost minions across those waves. So Afrika actually almost even the gold, and this is still an issue up here on the top side of the map. And Dread is going to start to take Afrika's first Drake of the game. And with mid-prio here for Fly, it's another matchup issue.
Uh-oh. I think he's in a really rough spot here. Umti is coming in. Yaharong is being burst down and teleport as well. But actually, with the help of Senna, they're going to kill that Seraphine. Keen with the TP comes in, and that's going to be enough damage to take him out. Didn't even need the collateral damage, actually. It just sails past his dead body. And this is what happens. You have winning lanes everywhere, and they won as they're supposed to. You just lose everything, right? You're losing the top lane, you lose your mid lane turret at 13.5 minutes, basically. Still alive for now, but this is what happens with the Olaf, too, with all losing lanes. He's just going to dodge the collateral damage, and actually over the wall, here comes Henna, so at least they're able to trade that kill back.
Not over yet, though.
Okay, poking ahead. But
no teleport for Keen. I was actually really worried, but he did use it in that earlier set.
We've seen, we have a lot of pings coming in and actually a teleport being used by Yaharong, but they're not actually going for this. They're just sending him down to the bottom lane, I suppose, to farm for now, because that Mountain Drake is going to be denied away from Bro.
Here for Fred Brion is really nice. They're just going to walk away like this because of the control ward, though.
They're just going to try to burst it down. Yeah. And I think they might have the damage, but in comes the Graves, and he is going to steal it away. A massive smite comes in from Dread, but the follow-up damage here is quite large. Bang going to be taken out right from the get-go. Lahen's not in a great spot. That's a big scat of the week, though. Keep in mind that Fly and Dread are really fed right now, so Fred and Brion have to turn tail and accept the fact that they lost the Drake and the one for one.
Yeah, I mean,
that could have been a much worse position. As we are going to have the Hex Blast here, this is going to be a nice little play, but the scat of the week is perfect as the Mega Gnar does come in. But Afrika have already disengaged. Look at the Olaf. He goes in and he goes out. You can't explain that. See you later. Bang is going to get caught here, though. The Devour is not on time, and now the Encore is pretty big on the fly. And thank you, Henna.
I mean, a lot of this is because Keen was considering teleporting in, but he decided he wanted to take a turret for a kill instead, which ends up being more valuable on the map.
No retreat from this now. TP comes in. He's not going to get the inhibitor, so Afrika are banking on trying to go for this fight as Lahenz takes so much damage, but he does the tanking. The Mega Gnar does nothing in the front line, but the Encore is huge, and now the Gnar does something. A massive Gnar into the wall, and a double kill for the Seraphine, as they totally clap the Afrika side. Bang, not even there to help out with the damage.
And that's a huge problem. Lahen's here just going to delay the inevitable. They don't get the inhibitor, as you say, and they lose Baron. This is best case scenario for Fred at Brion. And this was after a very awesome start to the fight with Fly's Scout of the Week. The range damage is real, but it's not a perfect setup. It's not the full fight that you want. And this time, Fred at Brion proved that they do know how to take these fights defensively with the Seraphine composition.
Seraphine, right? So they get so much poke damage down in the burst, but it's just barely not enough. Yeah. Especially in this late game fight. If you get engaged like that, you could be down 10,000 gold and still win the fight.
Yeah, and,
so,
and it's like, that doesn't happen if they don't survive the initial fight. And they don't survive the initial fight if Bang is there.
But instead, they hard committed 4v5 into a team composition, into a position where they can get engaged upon, and then it was lights out. And now Fred and Breon are immediately back in this game. You're not feeling as good when you're only hitting shields.
Yeah, it's way harder.
Yeah, and here we go. They're going to get on top of that top Ken. She is pretty tanky, but not tanky enough, and they find Bang. He is just dead. And you can see that Fly and Dread and Keen are so desperately trying to do lasting damage, but they can't.
So many shields, so much healing here, you just can't get through it anymore. If you don't kill them at first, doesn't matter how low their health bars are. If they didn't have a Seraphine here, you'd feel like, oh, we win this 100%. But Fred and Breon are like, we're going to heal up a little bit as we push this, and if anyone overextends, we're going to win this game right now. Forget anything else, forget inhibitors. We have a Nexus on our plates here.
Nice Scatter the Weaks come out, but again, massive shields, massive heals. They're going to take down the two Nexus turrets pretty easily. Delight is creating space, and he tanks up a lot of that damage. Fly is desperately trying to keep this game alive, as is Keen and Dread, but they just get burst down themselves. There's enough damage there, and game number one will go the way of Fred and Breon in 29 minutes.
Post-game stats, you know, when you look at the Gnar in this game, 7.1 thousand damage, didn't do a whole lot in lane. Very significantly behind. Actually gave the Jace a lot of early lead because of how that matchup goes. But you know what? He didn't tilt, and he came back and hit those stuns and those engages in every single team fight that he needed. Like, to me, I mean, I'll spoil it for you guys. I voted for him. If you're in the exact right place where you need to be, when you're behind in a game like this, where you're getting chipped down, when Seraphine hits those ults, and you actually win that Baron fight for your team so hard, like, that was the turning point in this game. Almost nothing else mattered until that moment where they hit that combo.
Hello and welcome back to the LCK Analyst Desk, and we are having an intense competition for the last place in the playoffs, and Fred and Breon was able to get ahead of Africa Fricks with this game 1 victory this time around. Africa Fricks really wanted to play around their top side with their Senna Tomkench paired up on the bottom lane. And the last pick, Jace, was there for Keen in order to smash the lane. We saw the power of Senna and Seraphine together. So Bro took Seraphine as their B1 card, and actually the jungler was selected to be Olaf in order to get some synergy together with Seraphine. But Africa Fricks, they didn't look that connected. Africa Fricks completed their comp, and their main theme was poke comp. So with that Jace at the end of the last pick, I think Africa Fricks wanted to kind of put a lot of poke damage before the team fight, but Seraphine was there to counter their poke comp. Seraphine can heal up all the chunk damage coming out from the poke ability, and Africa Fricks didn't have any tool to open team fight into Brawl's comp, which means Africa had to play flawlessly around their top side of the map. Maybe they had to keep exerting their dominance in the side lane from Jace, but Africa Fricks somehow they always took fight that Bro was opening. We have 2 highlights ready for this analyst test. Jace used his TP twice in this game, so we're gonna take a look at both of those TP play coming out from Keen. And now let's take a look at the first highlights. So, Africa Fricks was able to get ahead. They were in a bit of a lead in the top side of the map, and they were able to make some picks in the mid-game. Africa needed to make this kind of play more often in this game. Greaves were on Drake, but Fly was able to get a kill and then survived the fight, and then Keen also joined the fight in order to clean up that kill on Olaf. I don't think Africa Fricks had a great setup for this. It's more about Fred and Breon getting overextended when Africa Fricks was ahead. But still, Africa Fricks made a great work, you know, countering the actions coming out from Fred and Breon. And also, most of the Dragon posturing was happening without Jace and Gnar together. And Nar was a champion that was falling behind Jace, which means it was always a good trade if Nar and Jace can stay on the side lane where the teams are grouped up around the objectives. And Africa Frix was lacking proactivity in this game, and so now let's take a look at this Dragon or Baron team fight where Frederick Brion was able to come back massively with a fight. This was the second TP that Kiin took, the only 2 TP that he took in this game. So Nar used his ultimate prior to this fight, so it was on cooldown. But Hoya, I think he was like clicking his keyboard more than 100 times in this fight. His ultimate cooldown just went up and instantly he was able to get it go off. It was really smart to see Hoya playing around that brush. He was going in and out because he wanted to buy some time until he gets his ult up. And with that massive knockback into the wall, Frederick Brion was able to pick up a huge win after that team fight. Because Africa Frix, they were not able to match the numbers of the opponents. Maybe they could just maybe bought some time when they were on Baron, you know? You don't need to take fight into Seraphine comp, you know? Jace poke cannot really counter the play coming out from Frederick Brion in that point of the game, so Jace could have just kept pushing the side lane, whereas the rest of the Africa players could just delay the Baron from Frederick Brion. And the POG will go over to Hoya on Nar. Hoya is slowly getting there. He was definitely having a rough time in his laning phase, and his gold was even behind Jace even until the end of this game. But still, Nar was getting more work done in this game because he was able to counter the strategy from Jace. Maybe Africa, they had some issue with their communication because they had to be able to capitalize on the gold lead that Jace had throughout this game. Maybe one control word in the small brush could have turned this fight around for Africa Frix, but that was not the case. And 749 is the votes numbers that Hoya picked up for this POG. Now we're heading over Africa Frix versus Frederick Brion, game number 2. Both teams are on a losing streak, but in terms of their playoff contention, it's really important not to drop anymore.